Okay, well, we're back from the break, and while we were on break, we were reviewing some of the Facebook comments, and one of them was concerning Protandim and whether or not it helps with multiple sclerosis. Protandim is a nutritional supplement, and it is a something that you buy from direct sales. It is all natural. But there's also a medical compound out there called BG12, and I know this is nothing on the subject we're talking about weight loss, but BG12 is a product that actually raises a certain level of an enzyme, a protective enzyme in your system by reducing inflammation, and it got the indication for reducing the frequency and severity of multiple sclerosis. In fact, it's a very expensive drug, as all new drugs are. So the idea behind it is that this particular compound, Protandim, even though it's not been studied in double-blind crossover placebo studies, actually was quoted by the people that make BG12 that there are nutritional supplements that do the same thing, but they don't have the FDA indication, and that's the key. When an FDA gives you an indication, that means there were enough studies to show over time that people took this product, they reduced the severity and frequency of multiple sclerosis. With Protandim, nobody has invested that money, and so it's strictly by trial and error. So we have Valerie on the phone. Valerie?
Going to bring her up right now. Go ahead, Valerie.
Yeah, well, you just answered a lot of my questions right there.
Well, Protandim, you know, Valerie, is one of those things that as a physician, I can tell you that I have seen it help people in with a lot of different variety of ailments, but I can tell you that it doesn't have a medical indication, meaning I can't prescribe it for that. I can only suggest that other people have received improvement with it. It mimics a drug, and I said that's a bad way to use it, but it does the same thing that BG12 does, or it's called Tecfidera, which is the name of the drug. It does the same thing in the same way. Therefore, one would make an assumption, which you know are somewhat difficult, that you might see some improvement with multiple sclerosis with regards to using a nutritional supplement. And I can only recommend that you try it, and then you would see if it helps you. That's all I can suggest. Does that answer your question?
It has helped me, but the trifecta or whatever they want me on, my neurologist wants me on, that's what I want to avoid, because I want to avoid the medication.
You want to what?
Yeah, I want to avoid the medication part.
Right.
Just like the Avonex, I want to avoid putting poison in my body.
Well, and like I said, Protandim is not a medication, it is a nutritional supplement. It has 5 natural ingredients in there. They are combined in a proprietary blend, and we can discuss that on a different segment of the show and talk about that compound. I've had a little bit of experience with it, but as far as I can say, for multiple sclerosis, for any type of inflammatory disease, I've seen a lot of people improve with it with regards to fibromyalgia and other conditions, but it's like anything else. It's from the Journal of Irreproducible Results. I know that sounds like a tongue twister, but that just means it doesn't have a controlled study where you gave one population a placebo, you gave one population the drug, then you crossed them over, and you were able to document statistically an improvement. And that's usually the standard of gold standard for drugs being released. They have a double-blind crossover placebo. Again, double-blind. You don't know what you're taking. You either get a drug or a placebo. They monitor the effects, and then they cross you over, and then they monitor the effects. So you're not only going to take a drug, but you take a placebo. And if there's a statistical difference between the drug and the placebo, then usually that's the gold standard for showing that you're getting improvement with a particular medication. Do you did that?
That's good. Good explanation.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's get back to a little bit about the weight loss issue. I want to talk about how you can set a goal that's reasonable for weight loss, okay? And there are some calculated formulas, BMI, which, you can go on the internet and things of that nature. You take your height and your weight and you plug it into a formula. Where BMIs break down are young people have more muscle than older people. So BMIs are a little, they're not exact in the younger population, but in that age group in the 40s to 50, they're pretty accurate. What we call obese is greater than a 30% BMI. When you start getting into the 35 to 40%, then you're getting morbidly obese. And when a normal skinny weight would be a 25% BMI, and less than that, then we start looking at, and when less than 20%, we're looking at cachexia, being thin and things of that nature. So let's just say, for the instance, we are 230 pounds and our BMI is 33, okay? Based on the rough numbers, I would say you're probably 5'10", and your weight's, you're 50 pounds overweight, okay? You're trying to get down to a 25. How are we going to lose 50 pounds? Well, that seems like an enormous task, right? I mean, but remember, you didn't get 50 pounds overweight, and you gradually put that weight on. So set your goals to lose or eliminate. Take a food diary. Write down everything you eat. Be brutally honest with yourself, and start looking at the calories at what you're eating. Start adding those calories up and see what you're doing. And then look for a way to eliminate 100 to 200 calories a day. And it's just consistency. Eliminating one piece of bread is 100 calories a day. If you eliminated one piece of bread every day, if you had a sandwich for lunch and you eliminated one piece of bread every day, that's 10 pounds in a year, guaranteed, okay? And you didn't make it up in another way, okay? If you like soda, I mean, I see these people carrying around these 48 ounces of whatever during the day. I mean, I had this lady, and she thought she was doing extremely well. She had 2 48 ounces of vitamin, okay? Vitamin water, okay? I looked at the label. 480 calories in that jar. She was drinking 2 of them a day, okay? That's 1,000 calories. I mean, not in addition to her meals. 1,000 calories extra a day, what's that? What kind of weight's that going to put on you, okay? A lot. Okay, a lot.
We can probably spend a whole nother show on this subject because we're running out of time here. Why don't we talk, if people wanted to come see you at your office, how do they do that? How do they reach you?
Well, then they call the office line, 775-751-6111, and just schedule an appointment. I mean, one of the things I do that I think is different than a lot of other physicians, I'll take the time to talk to you about your dietary history, and we'll make those suggestions, and we'll have you do a food diary, and we'll go over your food choices, and we'll say, here's where I think you could substitute, here's where you could make a change, and we empower people to take control rather than feel like they're out of control. Mm-hmm. And once they start to lose the weight and their sugars become better controlled, we start to eliminate the medications they're taking. And then it becomes a very, you're rolling down the hill, you're just like a snowball. You're picking up weight, you're getting more sluggish. I mean, let me just tell you briefly, and it's a topic for a whole nother day, males, obesity lowers testosterone. Okay? If you're overweight, you naturally lower your testosterone. If you're overweight and lower testosterone, most likely, most males have sleep apnea or some form of hypoventilation at night. That also lowers testosterone. And so you're going to go in there and say, hey, doctor, I got low T. Give me some testosterone. I want to improve my virility. You could do that naturally just by losing weight. If I give you testosterone and you have sleep apnea and I make you more aggressive and maybe build your muscle mass, I'm actually doing you more harm than getting to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is just that weight. It's just simple changing simple things in your diet.
Dr. Reiner, that video that you were mentioning, the TV show or the program, is that talk about what to eat, what not to eat?
No, it just talks about how we believe that fast food was, McDonald's and hamburgers and things of that nature, and how the fast food has grown into our food supply. You go to the store and you think you're eating something good, but it's been destroyed by the fast food nation, by the people producing tons of food. That's what, that's why I shop non-GMO. At any rate, this is all for tonight. We can go on next time. Thank you for watching. This is Dr. Reiner of the Independent Medical Group. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.